on Divorce Court today. She was raised in a strict household and married her first love. But now Salida and Derek are facing real problems. She says their fights have become so abusive that he leaves the home to keep them both out of jail. Salida Washington and Derek Washington have brought their dispute for Judge Lynn Toler to resolve. Testimony in Divorce Court starts now.
Mrs. Washington, you want a divorce from Mr. Washington after 5 years. You say because the relationship has gotten so volatile that if you stayed, you believe you would do each other serious damage. And in that vein, you are seeking a significant sum of money for the intentional infliction of emotional distress. And we will talk about that momentarily. So, Mrs. Washington, why do you think things have gotten so bad and you're entitled to an award for emotional distress?
Okay, first off, we met, I'll say, my senior year in high school. And I was 19 at the moment. I gave him my virginity. After that, I think it all just went downhill.
Now, let me ask you a question. Between meeting him and sleeping with him, how long a period was there?
Like a year?
A year? Mm-hmm. Were you dating exclusively for that year?
No, we were like friends. I actually met him through a family member. And he was coming around before all that, but then after coming around, that's when I started to like him as a friend and getting to know him. I started liking him more than a friend. Then we hooked up and it went from there.
Were you dating at the time where you were in an exclusive relationship?
No, I wasn't.
Sex is not a casual thing. Can I say that? It just isn't. And especially when you start out having sex as a casual thing, it changes the whole definition of it. And I don't think it's doing anybody any good.
It's not.
You know what I mean? So I'm just putting that out there. I'm done. So go ahead.
I think I should have known it wasn't going to work because after I gave him my virginity, he told me he think I should go out and experience other people. Why would you tell somebody to go and experience someone else after you've been given something sacred like that? Like, after he told me to do that, he say I'm crazy. That's probably why I am and do get a little crazy. Like, you don't do stuff like that. You don't just take
Mr. Washington, did you, after taking her virginity, tell her, now go experiment with some other guys?
I did not take her virginity.
Oh.
She gave it to me.
Like
I did tell her to go see other guys because just her actions and the way she would do things.
I'm a virgin.
No, hang on, Mrs. Washington. Mr. Washington,
yes,
come here, Terry. What, her actions and the way she would, were you asking her to get more experience and come back a little better in bed or what?
I was, because the whole way we met and started dating.
Mrs. Washington, I am not talking to you. Mrs. Washington? Go ahead.
The whole situation how it started, she never really went out or nothing like that. She really didn't experience what I experienced. So, when we got together and we did have intercourse or whatever, that was just for me.
Did you consider yourself in a committed relationship when that happened?
I did consider us in a committed relationship, but just her action and the way she thought kind of made me seem...
What was she thinking?
I don't know. She was just thinking crazy thoughts. I don't know.
You're gonna call me psycho.
Crazy?
I've been in a Christian strict home.
Yeah, you were in a strict Christian home,
and my family members, they told me that if I was to kiss a boy, I'm going to end up pregnant. As in, like, kissing leads to sex, and sex leads to a baby, and a baby at an early age leads to irresponsibility. So,
but they were kind of right because you got 3 kids at 25.
Well,
I mean, didn't it kind of ring true to you after a while?
Yeah, but see, I've been 19, and I already graduated high school, so I held myself longer than other people would. I give myself that.
Were you on birth control?
No, because I wasn't doing nothing.
You were.
You were doing something.
I mean, before.
Can I just say this, and I'm going to get off the subject because this just makes me crazy. Sex is not a casual thing. It's not something you do just because there's nothing good on television, especially if it's sex for the first time. What you do is you decide that this is a good guy, this is a right guy. We're in a committed relationship, and after you talk about that, you talk to the guy and say, I've never done this before. We need to talk about birth control. We need to talk about your HIV status. We need to talk about where you've been and what you're doing. But that wasn't enough. But you need to talk about all of that. Where is this relationship going? Because it is a precious thing, and it's not a casual thing. And the birth control thing should have been discussed and handled before anything got touched. That's all I'm saying. We can move on. Mr. Washington, what is your main concern about Mrs. Washington after these 5 years?
Well, my main concern about her now is that she doesn't appreciate the works and not the things that I do.
Mrs. Washington? Mr. Washington, go right ahead, sir.
Well, like if I told her to do something the right way, I literally, I was cooking, I got sick, and I wanted her to finish cooking. And I said, well, do this process before you do this. Like, drain the water before you add the clean water. She said, okay, I did it. When I woke up, I realized it wasn't. I was just mad at the fact that I told you what to do the right way. And
now, how mad were you about draining some noodles?
Well, it wasn't noodles. It was some gizzard and squash that I really wanted.
Any vegetable, any food. How mad did you get by her failure to drain?
I didn't get mad by the failure
Yes,
of her
you did.
drink. I told her this is the step that you do, and then she lied and said she did it, and I realized that she didn't. She still won't say she didn't do it to this day.
I didn't.
I didn't drain it.
I did.
Mm-hmm.
See, he confusing me.
Oh.
Look, I don't eat gizzard. What is gizzard? He want me to cook like his grandmama.
I wouldn't be able to successfully cook you any gizzards.
You don't like gizzard?
I know what they are, but I don't know how to cook
what that is.
gizzards.
I don't eat stuff
And
that
I was trying to show her the proper way of doing it.
And do you think that getting angry assists one in learning?
No, ma'am, I don't.
Yeah. All it does is make her argue with you back. If you attack somebody, they will defend. They will not absorb knowledge. They will just defend themselves.
That's true.
Yep.
So, everybody's trying to get their point across, but nobody can get their point across because they're so busy emoting, sharing their frustration instead of imparting knowledge. Just putting that out there.
All right.
Next, are money problems adding fuel to the fights between Salida and Derek? Is a third wheel causing problems in your relationship? Call toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or visit our website at divorcecourt.com. Become a fan at facebook.com/divorcecourt. Real relationships in crisis. Divorce Court continues.
So far, all I've gotten out of you people that she didn't strain the gizzards. And I don't find that a divorceable offense. Mr. Washington, I'm going to change the subject and talk about her family. You say that they are a source of contention in this marriage. Why don't you explain that to me?
Well, the only time that I realized that her family comes around is for negativity. Like when we need help towards bills or help towards comfort for the children or just support in general, we can't really get that support from her family members like that. We get more negativity, energy.
Give me an example of some of the negative things they do or say that you say are impacting your marriage.
Well, I could say, well, we need a little extra change for a bill. Can you call your family and see if they can help us? She'll call, oh, he's the man. He's got a supply. He's the provider. Okay, but sometimes I fall short and we do need help, your family, my family. Now, on the other hand, if I go to my family, I fell short. I need a little boost until I can get back to pay you guys and get back on my feet. Not a problem, they help. The only time I see her family is when it's time to fight, when it's time to argue, when it's time to...
Mr. Washington, let me tell you this. Same thing my mother told me. My money comes with my mouth. If you can handle your bills, and you can do whatever you want to, but if you're coming over my house asking me for my money, I can say something about it.
That's
so
true.
when you go into her parents to ask them to do the job you're supposed to do, they can say anything they want to you.
That's true.
Anything they want. That's not negativity. Mrs. Washington, you say you're claiming the intentional infliction of emotional distress, and so far I've got minor annoyances. Tell me what's going on at your house that you find extraordinary. What's happening that's making you leave?
Well, her physical abuse is like chopping me with the pillow in my head, or chopping me with the little axe washing thing bar. Like, why are you chopping me with...
Chopping you with what?
You know the little axe washing thing the guys use? The men, like the little grouch thing the female use, but the axe one with the little...
a sponge or something?
He like chopping...
Because it's not going to hurt her, but it's letting her know how I feel at the moment.
So what are you doing?
Leave me alone.
You're popping her with the sponge?
I'm popping her with the sponge. If she wants some cereal, I'll give her some milk on her head. But you got to understand, I'm not the only one doing it.
What?
What is she doing?
I'll get Minute Maid on me. I'll get slapped with something too.
Because you do stuff to me.
What does he do to you that you feel requires a physical response? Quiet.
Because when he come close to me, even if he walking or running at me, I feel like I gotta attack first because he running at me. And he tried to attack me with the artificial tree. The police came in and caught him.
Well, tell me about that circumstance. Tell me what happened with the artificial tree.
Because social media, he got mad when guys started telling me I'm beautiful, and I was like, oh, thank you, you're handsome.
That's a lie.
That is not a lie.
Mr. Washington, I will get to you. Mrs. Washington, finish the story.
He got mad because guys, see, you got me at. I'm shaking. So with guys on the social media, I do admit it was a ex from the past I was talking to. I shouldn't have been talking to him, but it was never nothing like to engage into a relationship-wise.
So what did he do?
He said I look good.
No, not him. Him.
I'll confront her about it. That's what I'll do. I'll always confront her about it.
He came to me, he was like, why are you talking to them boys on Facebook? You got a relationship going on, you better not be cheating. I'm like, I'm not cheating on you. What are you talking about? You insecure, you probably doing it to me. You know, so it started coming from him talking about I'm cheating, I'm messing around. It even got to the point. Okay, it got to the point where I went out, and when I came back home, he was hiding in the closet, and he busts out the closet, and he attacked me and tell me I'm talking
Talking stuff.
And I'm like, where you come from? I'm like, yeah, you talk, because I was like.
Did he have a tree with him in the closet? I'm trying to figure out.
No, he didn't have a tree with him at the time, but he busts out the closet, and I was scared, so I started swinging, and we both started fighting, and it was all because of him. And
Did the police come?
No, not that time.
Okay.
When Divorce Court continues, was a paternity question something Salida invented to make Derek jealous?
Salida grew up sheltered in a strict household. Do you think she should have married Derek so soon? Call 1-800-282-1991 to vote now and see if America agrees with your opinion. You'll also receive some valuable offers.
If you would like your case heard on Divorce Court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com and join the conversation on Twitter at Divorce Court. Divorce Court continues.
Tell me what happened about the baby. There was something about the paternity of a baby.
Yes.
You posted something online. Explain that to me, Mr. Washington.
Well, Your Honor, there was a situation with the ex-boyfriend.